I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, Finnish friends on my face, looking like I'm from the D. D's no Cartiers, pockets deep, 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 bro. I can make it in my seat, bro. Do you, I'm doing me, bro. Making noise, use a beat, bro. Whoa, I press the button and the doors go off like, whoa. That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Neighborhood on the scene, neighborhood on the strip, neighborhood be the name, neighborhood no crib, neighborhood that's me, neighborhood that's Nick, neighborhood do the dance, neighborhood do the dip. Okay, thought I'd never make it like no way, I'm the real deal, no role play. My days off, that's no days. No, I hustle hard, young rose. E be the shooter, that's cocaine. Those on the deals, that's rose. Got no pay, don't no say. Okay, this the new, tell them read it. Been the one since the fetus. Don't sleep on me, Tempur-Pedic. That's a no, no, no. Spin it dope.
What up? We're just dancing in the background. That is a bop right there, baby.
Honestly, the tune slaps.
Dude, it is. It's a random one. It's completely random, but it freaking bumps. Dudes, it's been 2 weeks. It feels like there's been like at least a million things that have happened in the NFT space, and also like another million that have happened just inside Yuga ecosystem. So how you been the last 2 weeks, gentlemen?
Busy but good, right? You know, we had Easter last weekend, and then Will came down and visited me here in Houston, which was pretty nice. And then just trying to stay up to date with everything that's going on. It's like a full-time job out here on top of the full-time job. So overall, doing pretty well though. How about yourself, Phil?
Dude, busy, but I'd rather be busy than bored. Though, haha, bored ape, right? But like legitimately, what you just said, that's all that needs to be said. This feels like a full-time job, and we love it. Like, I wish I could spend more time here, to be frank, but it definitely feels like that extra layer, that extra job that you still want to check in. You don't want to miss out on anything. And there has been a ton. And even like Ethereum, like they had the upgrade today. Like there's all the shit happening that's just outside Yuga, and just keeping track of Yuga stuff. There's like a million things to talk about. Will, I love the shirt. That's like maybe my favorite piece of merch. Maybe I love that t-shirt. How you been, brother?
Been pretty good. Just trying to stay alive, get taxes done. Cutting it short here to the last minute. I definitely didn't go in and clean up my transaction history from I think I'm using Coin Tracker. So I actually have it pulled up right now. I'm still trying to clean up some transactions as we go because the clock is ticking.
Yep.
And
you had
I
like
need to know what my situation
pages, right?
is. Do what?
Yeah, I said you had like 300 something pages to go through, right?
Yeah, so like I just had to go over and like dig through everything and make sure it was like on board with like, oh yeah, that seems like an accurate transaction. I've got so many like things that are just like out of left field, just incorrect. It'll be like, oh, you sold this mutant for $20,000 gain or whatever, or $20,000, and the gain is $20,000, and I'm like, wait a damn second, I didn't buy the stupid thing for 20,000. I mean, I didn't buy it for zero.
Yeah.
So anyways, I got to go in and like kind of mend the transactions to at least kind of represent a little more of like what happened. So that's the mess I'm dealing with.
Yeah, I personally loved going through and then seeing like you lost 30K on this moonbird and 30K on this moonbird. And I was like,
dude, I'm going to be completely honest. We were delusional as fuck.
Dude, we were so stupid. But I mean, like, given the circuit, the time frame, right? It was pre-CC0. Like they were like token by the end of the year.
No. I'm not dogging moonbirds right now. I mean the space in general, dude. I'm looking at all of these like buys and sells and $100,000 codas, and I'm like, what were we really doing, bro?
Other deeds for 8 ETH unrevealed and didn't pull a single coda on like 15 plots. Sucks.
Yeah, that's down bad.
Sounds like a lot of
there, bro.
A tax loss, though.
Yeah, it was.
I went heavy on the losses. I literally was just cutting my leg off left and right as soon as we kind of were rolling. I think I started like you could kind of tell like mid-July or so, I started like kind of ramping up my harvesting, and I was like, I'm gonna just get started early, and I just started cutting everything. I was like freaking straight through.
Yeah.
So anyways, that just, I cut pretty aggressively last year. So my tax situation is kind of meh, not too bad. I don't think, but yeah, the gainers this year, they're popping off. So it's gonna be a cluster.
You guys are both more active than I am as well. And so like I can only imagine, because like I'm already, what's up, Ziggy? I'm already like struggling, right? Just getting through my not many pages. And then I think of you two motherfuckers, and I'm like, y'all are way more active than me. And a coin tracker, I think I used that last year as well. And it was super hit or miss. Like you're saying, it wasn't like, I think it's all right, but it's not perfect yet, obviously.
For sure.
Which is frustrating as fuck, to be honest with you.
I bought an NFT with ETH, didn't move it out of my wallet, and sold it, and it's like,
yeah,
we don't know what happened
like this.
Yeah, I felt like a lot of it was easy shit too. That like I remember last year just being like, how in the hell does it not see this? Especially with like block, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of the point, right? Like blockchain, you should be able to see these things, and specifically with a software like Coin Tracker, like come on, like this should be, to be honest, relatively straightforward. But again, if you haven't yet, shit, you better get on that. Tax season is right around the corner, literally. Yeah, I'll be finishing mine up this weekend. My life has been busy as F because it's baseball season, and which is great. It's fun, but it means like late nights, early mornings all the time, and then of course, DGen land here. So, but I'll say I was not as active last year as a whole. So I actually, like, this sounds wild. Maybe not, but I don't think I'll have as many transactions last year as I did in 2021.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I can't avoid the degen urge to just try and buy something and turn it into gold. So,
what up, Baron?
We just run through them, man.
No, for sure. Biggest wins and losses for sure, Ziggy. Just tax season. You know what I mean? Like, and Will was saying, and he's right. Like, we were on something, because when you look at the transactions of buys and sells, is like, how the hell did anyone? It doesn't even matter the collection, but it's funny to go back and look at some of these that are like at $0 now, or like at $5, and you're like, dude, fuck, I spent like $1,000 on that son of a bitch. Like, damn.
Yeah, I'm like, dang. Quite a few months ago, I wrote 22 ETH for a Moonbird, and now it's like 2 ETH.
Yes, dude, for sure. No, for real. But enough of the sort of depressing talk. Let's get into Yuga verse, because there's been like a bajillion things that have happened. And I think even when you're in the Yuga ecosystem, it's easy to like miss things here and there just because there is a lot. I will say, in my personal opinion, their communication has been much better. I love the way they're doing it. It's consistent. They have the official news tab that you can sign into. Like, I love everything they're doing. The only thing I would like even more is if they did, I'm not even saying the founders, but have somebody in the company run a once a month even space, just to be like, this is the State of the Union. You don't even have to bring people on stage, and cap it at an hour, and just maybe take questions in the comment section, something, again, to just drive home. Because like, to me, it's always about transparency, right? It's always about people understanding it. And granted, people just need to read better at the end of the day. But there's a lot happening. Unless you're, laser focused on Yuga. I
think a sort of kind of spaces, like you're saying, probably wouldn't happen until Q3, when it's always on. And they're kind of like, a successful Otherside is when Yuga can take a step back and let everybody else build and kind of watch. And then I think that would probably be an ideal timing there. Because right now they're just pushing so much stuff that it's like the space. But
what about a community manager
with everything?
What about a community manager that just is literally like, even if it's once a quarter, right? Like, just, we're doing a space for an hour. Boom, here we go. It's not the founders, but we're going to shoot through a bunch of, like, a recap thing almost.
Yeah, PP Man needs a weekly birthday party.
Yes, dude. Yes.
For sure.
That is a beautiful idea, actually.
I wanted to touch though real quick on the people don't read aspect of what we were just talking about. So you know how there's like that blog that they have at news.yuga.com?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I had someone comment on a post that I put, and they were like, "Enough with the paid paywalls and whatever and yada yada," and I was like,
Dude, that's idiotic.
It's not a paywall. It's security. Like, I know it looks stupid as heck when you go in on mobile, and then you have to like the page maybe isn't like designed the best way to convey to people that like all you need to do is just like you need to have this set up on your device.
Yep.
So that it can just authenticate that you uploaded a picture that is your picture and your text and your picture match at the top of the page. So it was just something that I was like, no, dude, like the news blog post things have great information, not paywall. It's
No.
just a security measure that it looks bogus on your phone when you set it up, because when you do it on your computer and you've set it up the first time, it just always goes back to it and you're good to go. But for whatever reason, I don't know, phone kind of glitches out sometimes.
Again, it's not surprising though, right? At the end of the day, like that's an insane statement that someone made to you that they thought it was paid. Like that tells me they took literally zero time really to like even sort of try. That's crazy. But at the end of the day, I guess that once again just kind of reiterates how awesome the community content that is being delivered with spaces that are happening all the time and streams and blogs, posts, threads, whatever it is. Like it's super important for the community because though maybe only 15 people read your thread, there might be one person, like Will's saying, that one person that had tried to do the news tab for 1 second and thought it was paid, and Will was able to correct them just from a simple like thread or a post. Like community content is super beneficial.
Definitely.
I mean, honestly, that is like the life hack on launch days is like when there's new drops from Yuga, you quickly just open up the news.yuga whatever, and they usually have some more pictures, some more whatever stuff that's like doesn't quite hit the timeline right away. You grab that, you post it, and you're like, oh, you read like the first paragraph, 2 paragraphs, find something interesting that's like the little bit extra FAQ stuff going on, post that, done. Engagement far more.
No,
Honestly, yeah, Otherside Wiki is the alpha in terms of information.
yes,
I've
dude.
definitely gone there for the Otherside alphabet quite a few times to try and translate some of the text in the back of Yuga photos.
No, I agree, dude.
That might be the least impressive part of the whole website, though. But
Oh, for sure, but I mean, it's still cool. I like it.
I'm like, you're not doing them justice by just saying, "Oh, I referenced the Otherside alphabet on there." I mean, there's shit, dude. They got a ton of crap there.
That's all they have. They just have the alphabet in case you want to crack the next code. No, I agree. That's an awesome resource, and Frosty's and team like just like spin up new information all the time. And like even with and we'll get into this in just a second with the decoupling and the Otherside expanded, and that is getting a little bit wacky and weird. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. I know Will had posted a little bit about it, but Otherside Wiki and team have done a good job of continually updating and moving with Yuga. Like that's their goal, right? They want, again, information to be transparent and you to be able to do your own research, which is dope. I love it. What's up, Frosties? Thanks for being here, dude. For real though, you guys are killing it. Like one of the absolute best resources in the game for sure. And we appreciate you doing that because it does help all the people, even if you're not in Otherside yet, right? Like if you want to learn a little bit, that's like one of the absolute first place I would point anyone that wants to learn, you know, a little bit about traits or looking at deeds, etc. I would point them there because that's going to be way better than saying, hey, go to OpenSea and just search Otherside, because that's just going to be like, what? They're going to get lost.
Right. And then you try and decipher what all the traits are in the north, south, east, west tier. Yeah.
Dude, for sure.
No
So
way.
again, a lot to talk about. Let's rip through a couple thoughts and topics. And the first one, we talked a little bit about pre-show. First thoughts on Gucci collab, pendant / digital wearable. What did we think about it? How did you think the drop went? We've had these conversations, but for the people, what was your overall sentiment on that drop and collab?
I would definitely say it was a luxury drop. It had that luxury price point, and I think overall, when we go into the future and we have participants on the other side more regularly, the price of ApeCoin will not be what it is today. And I think ultimately spending 450 ApeCoin on this pendant will you'll look back and be like, holy crap, that was some potential future cash that I definitely coughed up there. So, it's one of those things where it's like you definitely don't want to pass it by. There's so many like wild card things where it's like, okay, this could be, a soulbound or I mean, they already said it's permanent, but like it could be like a permanent amulet that in the game you get these exclusive buffs, boosts, whatever, and it could just be like the top tier amulet. So you just never have to have another amulet. Like you bought your free ticket to the top. Not free ticket, obviously. It was 450 freaking ApeCoin. But you essentially just have to only have that Coda pendant amulet on, and you're good to go, right? Like you got all the boosts you need. So it's that kind of stuff where it's like it may not amount to much now. Like a lot of people wanted to just point and be like, oh, the chain, that's not worth that. It's like, no, it's not worth that. We're getting the branded handle for the chat handle thing and the trail effects. The video effect thing where it's like, who knows what it's going to look like. I mean, it's literally a flex piece, but like at the end of the day, I think another thing that kind of came up pretty heavily is the other artifacts that we saw, and that was the winged helmet coming from the first trip. And like, dude, like they're already half an ETH out the gate, like consistent right now. So then when you think about like, okay, half an ETH for this Genesis piece, we know this fixed supply. A lot of people drew parallels to like the blue party hats in RuneScape, which were from a Christmas event. Essentially, you pulled these little Christmas crackers, the little popper things, and then you got a chance of getting these different party hats. But there's nobody knows the exact supply of those different colored party hats that exist in that game. And so, I mean, they still have a street value significantly larger than the winged helmets from the Otherside Relics collection. So it's like, I'm excuse me, just making a bet that these are going to be looked at as kind of like the flex symbol of just like, I was early, like this, I've got like a rare piece in the game. I don't know, it's one of those dumb things. It's like if the price comes down low enough, like I'll build a moonshot bag of these, because it's like, why not?
Yeah,
I just wanted to jump in really quick, Bryson. I'd love to have your take. Is my biggest positive was actually just this seems simple, but like Gucci, official Gucci Twitter, not some side Gucci Twitter that they spun up for NFTs. The main Gucci handle, 7 million plus followers. They're doing this many freaking posts, bro. Like that to me is significant. I know that maybe sounds corny, etc., but like there's a real partnership here. And so again, like you're saying, the price felt expensive, of course, 100%. But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens, when the digital things occur. So, Bryce, what was your overall sentiment?
Yeah, I was going to say I'm definitely a little biased because I bought one and definitely sipping hopium. But the thing that just doesn't make sense in my mind still is like, why did they release it right now? Like, if all it is just going to be a physical pendant and a digital, your chat handle and a trail VFX, why did they have to release that now and kind of tie it in with the decoupling of Codas, which is a big event, on its own? So I think it'll be used in more stuff, because it's like, why couldn't they just release that Q3, Q4 when Otherside's always on? And then it's like, hey, here's your flex.
Yeah, for sure. I do think it'll be more than the basic things they mentioned, because again, like that's what they've been saying, right? Like surprise and delight. They're always going to set an expectation and then blow it out of the water typically. And they've done a pretty good job, I would say, over the last 2 years of doing that. And so I think it's just kind of a wait and see approach. And at the end of the day, if it's the first, major collab on Otherside, like you're saying, Will, like I think that's big. So I have one too. Full transparency, I have one. Yeah, the 450 ape. Again, in my opinion as well, that's going to feel like a lot when ape sinks really start going. And ape, in my opinion, again, do your own research. Not financial advice ever on the show. I think it's going to be higher than $4 or whatever it's at right now. So you're on mute, my dog.
Every time.
Just the simple concept of like, if you have 1 million people playing in Otherside, and you know how much money is every single person gonna have?
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, how much money do you bring into the other side?
Who knows?
Great question, dude.
So, you know, if everyone's buying $100, that's 10 billion.
Shoot. Pretty crazy.
It's a few bills. Not bad.
No, and then it's like, okay, well, if that's 10 billion, I mean, like, anyways, I went off on the wrong tangent here, but it's essentially the value of the token is going to see this rise as the economy starts, right? As soon as we start moving the token around more, because like we talk about sinks, but it's not really a sink. It's literally just like tokens getting funneled in one direction quickly and slowly redistributed in another direction. And I think that's kind of like how fast can we kind of like make that happen? So like if Yuga pulls it in, right? And then they hold on to some of it and they give it out to their employees as bonuses or whatever their, you know, packages. So like that's one way that they can use ApeCoin. Another way is, you know, obviously selling it on the market, but maybe they do, you know, a slow drip and they just sell some periodically. Maybe, you know, I mean, who knows? There's a whole bunch of different things that could come up, but essentially what I'm really, really interested to see is like, what is going to be the first viral game that happens on Otherside created by a content creator that just explodes. And then suddenly you have like, I think we will see more than one success story where it's like so-and-so creator created this, you know, experience on their land and you pay one ApeCoin to play and like it's had millions of people run through it.
Right.
That would not surprise me.
Yeah, not at all.
And I know go ahead, Bryce.
There's so many opportunities too to build on Otherside. I mean, I think we've been saying this for quite a few months now, but yeah, it would not super hard to build up a game that charges, you know, half an ApeCoin or one ApeCoin. That's fun to play.
No, for sure. And then again, you were talking about this, but pretty cool to see this collection, the Otherside relics. You take a look, you know, just some of the things that jump out right away is the creator earnings at 0%. Obviously, this was the winged helmet. If you didn't check it out, if you weren't at the second trip, if you were part of Glacia, however the frick you say it, the blue team, they won this. I'm not mad at all or jealous at all that you won one of these for free. Yuga doing Yuga things. You know, it was really cool, though, to experience that, right, in the second trip when everybody lifted up. Boom, they had the helmet on their head. And this is really cool to see this because, and we talked about this before, too, is like this is literally just the start. This is like the first little like game relic wearable that you're going to be seeing. And I think this is like every trip I could see something similar where there's a chance to win a friggin' weapon or a friggin', I don't know, a suit or a shoes or boots, whatever it may be. And this winged helmet is just part one, which is exciting.
So I had invited one of my friends who like dabbles a little bit in crypto. Not really NFTs, not really much of anything, but I was like sending him the tweets or updates on the floor when these things were like running to like 0.8 ETH. And I was like, dude, the freaking helmets, they were at 500. Now they're at 1,000. Now they're 1,500. And I mean, obviously he would have been over the moon if he had gotten one. Right. But like, you know, I have a feeling that if I say, hey, we have another one of these events, you want to come?
Yeah, I told some of my gamer friends too. I sent a screenshot of the floor and was like, yo, if y'all had joined me last weekend, like this is what y'all could have won potentially. And they were like, dude, let us know when the next one is. Like, I'll be there.
Because why not, right? Like even
for $1,500, like
But even if
You're
they're
in
not
the crypto land.
100, you know, like if it's a couple $100 to literally you just went in and played and you were lucky, you didn't even have to be good necessarily. If you're on a great team and you sucked ass, you got 2 blobs the whole time, you just falling off mushrooms and shit. Like you could have won, even if it was $300. Like that's just, it's wild to think about. But again, it's literally the tip of the iceberg, and that I guess that's what I'm most excited about when it comes to the Gucci pendant, but also obviously the Otherside relics here with the winged helmet.
Facts.
Exciting. Cliff, congrats on winning the winged helmet. I'm not jealous at all.
Not at all.
I saw something else. I guess we can transition. We've talked a little bit about obviously the 2 relics, the pendant and the winged helmet. Let's talk a bit about the decoupling and then Otherside expanded, which also brought us the vessels. So vessel talk. Who wants to take this first? Because this is a windy road that we don't know a ton about, but we've got some good friends that come on the show a lot that have, holy shit, they've been hitting us with some massive threads with great information. So Bryce, I guess I'll throw it to you first, hot potato, then we'll swing it to Will.
What are we talking about? Like overall uses of the Mara, or just purely the decoupling?
How about, that's a great question.
Okay.
So first let's just talk decoupling. What was our thoughts on how that went? Codas by themselves, first impressions. I know how I feel. And then also the fact that you have the original Otherside collection, but also Otherside expanded. What do you think, Bryce, on kind of all that, just the decoupling, all of it?
Yeah. So definitely like right now, unless you're, just hot off the press and antsy, and didn't decouple, right? I mean, because once you decouple and you're on the Otherside expanded, now you have to pay the 5% royalties, where if you stay on the original collection, it's, the 0.5% or whatever. So there's not a huge incentive to go ahead and decouple. And yeah, looking at it, looks like we only have 36, 37-ish% of people that have decoupled. So we still have 60 to 70,000 more vessels that need to enter the market, or just enter in general, I guess.
Right.
And so, I'm like holding off on buying more vessels, but I'm also like, I don't know. I think they will be a play eventually. Yeah, right. Yeah, scratching my neck, just waiting.
For real, dude. That's how I feel.
It's one of those like there's just like one piece of information that I think everybody's waiting for, which is can you add multiple Mara to one land? And then I think once that question is answered, we'll either see Mara move up or down.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, if you want to play the game, you got to have a Mara, right? So
and another
one
deed.
Mara and a deed.
Yeah.
So it's not like you get a free ride into the ecosystem if you just buy a deed. You also got to come ready with the Mara. So when you think about that, it's kind of like people like
what you can say.
I thought he got frozen in time for a second. Oh, we killed him. We killed his ass.
I'm trying to think. I don't know.
I got what you're saying though. Is like they're making it a point that you do have to have a deed. You do have to have a Mara to come play this game and this experience, this 2D experience. And I think that's fine as well. And we'll see what that leads to, because like to me, I think when they turn into the Coda Mara or whatever the hell, like again, there's a lot to come. Don't you believe after that happens that somebody could come in and buy one of those and use that potentially, like I'm talking Otherside? Would that be something that you could go around in the Otherside as? Or is this 2D or is this 2D experience just forever?
No, I think you could come in as a Kodamara.
So that's what I'm saying. You don't always have to have a deed, right? Like you could come in as a code. I'm talking obviously months from now when the other side is live.
Mm-hmm.
That's when, but for now to have this experience, this 2D experience, obviously
you have to have both.
Right.
Yeah,
but I
sure.
think there will be that lower price point for sure once this is over.
I think if we go the route of you can have multiple, like, so they broke it up, hunter, farmer, enchanter, right? If you want to play the Legend of the Mara experience, you got to have one of both. You could come in later with just a Coda Mara potentially as your character. Sure. Why not? Unless if that's just not how they want to roll with it. But that would kind of defeat the purpose of like what we're trying to do anyways. You're supposed to be able to bring in whatever assets into whatever environment across all of the M2 tech to jump around from Otherside to whatever, metaverse environments there might be, and all sorts of different stuff. But I think Yuga has a very good opportunity right here to kind of like, show off a little bit what they can do. And that's going to make the number go up for the vessels. And the way you do that is you divide this, you divide them all up. You say there's hunter, farmer, enchanter. But then suddenly, if you have one, you might be scrambling for the other or the other two, right? So then naturally, it's like you really need 3 pieces of game parts. What the hell am I trying to say?
You're good, dude. You're good. Just deep breath. I'm going to throw it here because I see Axie, aka Daniel, in the audience. One of our, longtime listeners, I would say, and he's been coming in consistently and just delivering like awesome speculation, but also like really good information behind it. So this is his pinned tweet. If you're not following him on Twitter, you should. It's at the real Uncle Dan. And again, he's just like really good information and great if you actually read. We know we talked a little bit before about apes and degens not really reading, but if you like to read, check out his threads. This one is pinned at on his top of his Twitter. And he's saying, if we use common sense, we can answer many of our own questions, 1 question per tweet. Do you think having only 1 Mara per deed would give you many strategic options? Consider that this will be a persistent strategic game. And if you look right here, he pulled this as a screenshot directly from a site who is able to participate. After the claim, to play, you will need at least 1 other deed, in addition to a coda and or an apprentice Mara.
I've hung up on those words a little bit, right? I get that you need at least 1 other deed, and then it says in addition to a coda and or an apprentice Mara. It's like the one thing that would have just like really just sent it over the edge for me and been like, all right, cool, we're smooth sailing, is if it said to play, you will need at least 1 other deed in addition to codas and apprentice Maras.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Or like if one. I don't know. That's just how it seems like they definitely, like 100% you will be able to put a coda and a Mara together. But like the wording there is like, yeah, you're not really implying, like, could you have 2 codas on 1 land?
Interesting. Yeah.
I don't know.
Who knows?
It doesn't really that one. Yeah, I don't know. There will, you have the connection between coda and Mara, but are we getting multiple Maras? Can we get multiple codas? And then can we have 1 coda, multiple Maras? I don't know. It's like the fine details that I think once we get that information, we'll set off, the vessel collection.
Facts. And you also, if you take a step back, you have to think about it, right? Yuga's a company, they're trying to make money as well. And the way they make money is incentivizing trading of their NFTs. So, it would make sense that they have all these cheap assets, right? So to have people scrambling to, oh shit, I need more farmers or need more enchanters or load up on hunters, just makes sense.
Real quick, you know what else is interesting to me is like clearly Yuga did not think it was a bad idea for a codependent to end up on a vessel.
Correct. I think that's important, actually. I think that's important.
If it was a bad idea, why would they do it? Yeah,
I agree with that for sure. And so again, this thread just goes through a bunch of stuff. So again, if you only had 1 deed, which has 1 sediment, and you minted 1 enchanter or hunter Mara, how would you ever feed them fragments? We'd need either an off-chain in-game marketplace at the start or quests that reward fragments. So again, like this thread, just like to me, it gets my brain always like spinning. I had Daniel on a space on Saturday. And again, it was just like I could sit there and listen to him talk for hours because it was all of this conversation, and it was always backed up by like things that have happened in games that he's participated in the past, and also just like reading through with like a fine-tooth comb at times, which again we don't really do.
Well, right, and then putting the pieces together that Yuga CEO was formerly with WoW, and then all the connections that he can tie between Legends of the Mara and WoW, and it's like there's the alpha. They're not going to, reinvent the wheel per se. To an extent,
I agree.
but
and this is one thing we had talked about as well as the seasons, right? So if we do not get a Mara each season, we can evolve all of them this summer with season 1's catalyst. What would be the point of the game afterward? I think that's important because they've talked about seasons. They have the constellations. And if you look at this, with the changing of the seasons, shades find their vessels, and a crop of new Mara erupts into Otherside. So, like, I think that's an interesting thought. And we've talked about that as well, right? Like that there's going to be more Mara that are dropped. Maybe it's once a year. Maybe it's once a quarter, whatever that is. Because I think this will be the player, the asset that they will expand upon so that there's that lower price point.
For sure.
Ooh, I like this question. Why are they called hunters if they can only defend, aka fend off? Good point. Why would you call them a hunter instead of a defender?
True.
Like they're hunting some shit. Start with defending only from NPCs before they have the ability to fight each other. Ooh. It forces you to learn the history, lore, and story.
Facts.
Man, wouldn't
then
that
again,
be something?
Dude, that would be wild, actually. But really cool. Like, I'm probably going to get destroyed, by the way, because there's going to be, like, so many of these people that just, like, extremely strategic, and I'm just going to be like, fuck it, let's go. I just get, like, blown away by 73 hunters. If hunters fend off or ever steal attack, wouldn't they need stats, aka power, HP, all of that? What will affect these stats if sediment only gives us traits? Do paid for or earned traits affect the stats? Our entitlements can evolve or upgrade. Big eyeballs. So again, like, man, there's a million questions here, and he does a good job of just like reading through the language, reading through what's posted in plain freaking sight, and just putting it again in bite-sized segments, right? And we've talked about that ad nauseum, even in the back channels with just what we're doing with Board TV is like we want to make sure they're little bite-sized segments so that people can actually digest them and then go back to it again later, right? When something else hits them, oh shit, I was thinking about a hunter. Man, they got to be able to do more than just defend. And goes back to this, checks out the website, etc. And booyah, you got like more people that are educated for sure. I skipped the last part. My bad, Daniel.
Come on, Phil. Rookie mistake.
You want the last is more the speculative statement? I got you. Give me 1 second. Because we love speculation.
We sure do.
I mean, the best part of it all, if it's not the last statement, I mean, ApeCoin, baby. Just everybody's going to need ApeCoin.
Yeah, I mean, ape, it's everywhere, right? Like literally, it's Otherside. Speculative statement. I believe that some of your entitlements will be traits we can earn from winning various activities, like the Gucci Grail pendant and frame, but as rewards. Otherwise, if we all fed our Maras the same sediment, they would all look the same, right? And if you look at this, throughout the course of gameplay, there will be opportunities to earn new entitlements, upgrade existing entitlements, and evolve entitlements earned. Again, this is all there.
Mm-hmm.
People are simply just not saying it. So
I was telling Will earlier the other day, I'm like, it's going to be cool to look back in a year or two where it's, somebody's going to have some mega thread where it's how I started with one other dude and one vessel and, evolved it and ended up, getting my own Bored Ape.
Right.
That is, I'm almost positive 100% going to happen. Would love for that to be me and, be a tryhard at Otherside, but somebody will make it work.
Man, and just Otherside, like that's a whole, we should really just have a space where we talk Otherside and just like talking about jobs in the other side. We got into that with Daniel on the space on Saturday. And like when you really like just think about it, there's going to be so many jobs that you think right now are ridiculous that will be like legitimately people that will be their career. They will have a freaking like in the metaverse, and hopefully it's Otherside, right? But there will be legitimate jobs that have nothing to do with like hunting and gathering. It'll be more than that too. It'll be things you don't even think about right now that you're like, there's no way in hell I can do that from home, and it's gonna happen. Like that again.
I guarantee there's gonna be a service where it's like, pay me to play your game, and I'll give you feedback.
Yeah,
there's gonna be just endless opportunities.
I found this interesting too, from our good friend Don't Feed the Wolf. Earn and evolve entitlements. That's a good point.
There you go.
Talking about getting the GG early. We already have it. It's in our possession. That's a good point.
That's a great point. I did not see that.
All right, cool. And then, so decoupling was great. Codas, they look freaking dope.
Dude, I love seeing Kodas in their own collection. They're nice and big. You can zoom in on blur. Because when you used to have to open up the land and zoom in, like you just couldn't get the same feel for it. So now, yeah, I feel like all the Kodas traits just really pop a lot more.
Dude,
And they were
yes.
super cool, but they're struggling on their own right now. I think there was a whale that dumped like 30 something, not too long ago.
Not
It's a little
surprising.
rough out there.
Like to me, I'm not surprised by any dumping actually, because there has to be a shiny object for people to chase. I don't care what the freaking collection is right now. Like there has to be something that you think you're getting because of you holding it for that day or that week. For the majority of the space, not everybody, but for the majority of the space, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's just where we are right now. So I'll be curious to see what happens, because, and we'll get into this in just a second. I did want to have one other thing I saw here about Maras that I would love to get your feedback on, and then I'd love to talk heavy metal because that's supposed to happen still in April, and we're almost halfway through April. But before we jump into the heavy metal talk, this right here, Blue tripping on memories, almost like he was a Mara before. Interesting thought.
Ooh.
Interesting thought.
Hmm.
And Will has left us to the other
Yeah,
side.
I'm not sure what to think of that. I mean, the way I could see it most likely is like, apes and mutants, right? There's the clear distinction. One's the primary, the other's the secondary. I could definitely see with Otherside, it's like Kodas are the primary Coda collection, and then you have Coda Mara, which is the secondary, younger brother.
Right.
But
Interesting thought.
I don't know, and I don't know how I would feel if all of a sudden it was like there's now 110,000 Kodas instead of 10,000. Like that just doesn't quite make sense to me. But
There's 1 million Kodas. Kodas will benefit because they can farm before we have farmers.
yo, let's go.
Ziggy, I was trying to find to see if you had your Coda posted,
He was throwing the best.
but I didn't see it. He was throwing the vessels down and that look back. Oh, yeah. Okay. Interesting. Again, this is where like we could have a 5-hour show and not even cover even a freaking sliver of it because there's so much. Each vessel has requirements, but Kodas can start right away. Yeah, for sure. Like a Coda is still like, to me, I think it's gonna be massive. It will be massive when Legends of Mara and all these things start happening. Kodas are ready to rock right now. They can do all three things. They just can't do them at once, right? You had to pick. I think you had to pick one thing at a time. I don't remember. I feel like I read that somewhere. Maybe I was tripping on something else. But outside of vessels, outside of decoupling, heavy metal. Thoughts on that? That's got to be coming in the next 2 weeks or just over 2 weeks because it said April, right? I thought I just looked at that today.
Yeah, I think it was end of April.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it just says April. Yeah, but based off of they did their bio, then whatever, then night, then celestial. And they kind of do it, I think, every like 3 days.
Right.
So we just got celestial today, and the companion teaser, which was pretty cool. I will say, I mean, companions are cool and all, but I wasn't just like blown away by the tiny little blob sitting on your shoulder right there.
That's where it starts, right?
Yeah, true. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see the rest of them go. I definitely jumped the gun. They did the reveal, like the kind of little feel, and I saw celestials, and I was like, "Yo, I want that one!" So I went and bought like instantly, and well, they've definitely pulled back quite a bit, but.
That's just like all of these bitches, right? Like I don't care, Yuga, whatever. It's like, and I've done it too, right? Like I freaking did it with Kodas like 70 years ago, and we still don't know exactly what the fuck a Coda is. Massive overpay. But again, at the end of the day, I'm happy that I have a Coda. I'm still comfy. All those things are still true. But it's really easy to jump out there and want them. And I've had the same thought. I'm like, shit, I need to get liquid, and boom, boom, boom. Let's jump into more vessels. Let's jump into freaking, what about 2 Gucci pendants? Like, I don't know, like we just go fucking buck wild. So the heavy metals are interesting. Do we think next Wednesday we have something on that, or do you think it'll be the following week? Because we just got, like you said, celestial. So how many is that left? We
have Reaver, Hollow, and then I don't know if they're gonna do one on Legendary or not. I'm gonna guess no. We probably won't find out Legendary until the game's kind of launched.
Right.
Because in their teaser, they showed all of them, but then the legendary was just a big fat question mark. So I don't think they would, reveal the legendary before they start the game. They probably want that to be like,
right.
Here's the legendary. I don't know. Just my thoughts there.
But again, like these Wednesdays, right? Like that has been their play because it's lined up really nicely for us. So when you look at the end of April, you either got next week or the following. There's 2 Wednesdays left in the month. So either way, within the next 2 weeks, we're gonna see something with heavy metal, and I'm just curious what that means because man, like you start thinking about it, is like, okay, so heavy metal is gonna be going. Is that like an ongoing thing as well? I assume so, right?
Yeah, it'll be a game of some sort. Evo 2, which they said starts in May.
Right.
Yeah, the next thing is it came through the Rift, which that just says it's your mech reveal. So I'm gonna guess we just open the boxes and see what kind of heavy metal we got. And then in May it says, Journey to Evo 2.
Yeah.
So that'll obviously be another week or couple weeks after that.
The teasers are only the helmet. They will be insane. I'm also excited about.
It's crazy.
I'm excited about heavy metal. But I guess my point was you're gonna have heavy metal and the Evo, whatever that is, however long that takes, and Legends of Tomorrow. Like our heads are about to be like blown back, dude. Hair blown back for real.
Already is, right? I mean, we've already had so much going on. Like train's not stopping. Wagmi-san said it best, right?
Literally,
for nobody. Either hop on board or get left behind.
On that note, and you said something about the Rift. Really quick, let's touch on this. Adidas. The Rift Hotel. It comes through the Rift, like, dude.
And then it's like a big glowing thing in the middle, and like I'm pretty sure it says that in Legends of Tomorrow, where it's like the glowing pillar or whatever.
It's just like too many connections, and obviously they've already done some of the collabs. The bright yellow jumpsuit that we should all be wearing together. Oh, and then also today, I actually loved their utility update. Did you all see that by chance?
I did, yeah. And it's like it's awesome, right? It's like a totally different take where you get to kind of choose like what are you interested in? Is it sports and football, or is it music? Is it soccer, etc.? We ought to play the video, Phil.
I will. Yeah, I'll pull it up. No, but I thought this was really I thought this was in my opinion, getting good feedback from some of the other shit they had done that we all thought was pretty average at best, low effort potentially, things that we didn't necessarily love. I like this. I think this has potential to be really, really a cool experience. And I'm not talking about price go up, but I think it could be a really freaking cool experience for sure.
I mean, already based off their 2 tweets, price has gone up.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go.
Right, even OGD Farmer was like, I bought a couple because it looks sick.
For sure. I think
and like this was created in the other side. People can create this kind of content from the other side.
I think I have the audio going, but let me know if not. This video is fucking awesome.
I hope our 3D apes kind of look like that.
Do I have this muted? Yes, I do. Dude, come on.
I mean,
Like,
that's sick.
dude, that is
Very sick.
wow. It's like when I saw that video, I was just like, damn. All right, Adidas. All right. I see you.
They're
I
doing
fucking
it
agree.
right. That's for sure.
Everything about that was great. And the music selection,
Mhm.
I agree, Ziggy. The freaking selection was just freaking perfect song for that.
No.
I'm excited. The Rift Valley, like it all, like if it doesn't connect, I'll fall out of this goddamn chair. That
I feel like it
that's
has to, right? I mean,
language, man.
BAYC and Adidas already have, pretty close ties with their partnership.
Yeah.
Our previous collab. So, yeah.
But it's exciting. 100% exciting. So we got heavy metal coming over the next 2 weeks. We got more Vessel talk and back to Vessel. Farmer, Enchanter, Hunter. What will be the most important, or what's your favorite one without knowing much of anything?
Probably the Hunter.
My
No,
Coda.
I'm thinking Farmer. I'm going with Farmer. Farmer, final answer.
I think Farmer too, dude. And I've
If
always
that's what's gonna farm my sediments and make me money, fucking
Yeah.
give them to me.
I know the Enchanter, like, obviously is more rare, but like I just think Farmers, like, I got a good feeling. Maybe it's because I'm from Iowa and everyone that didn't know me when I'd go to college, they'd call me Farmer Phil because they thought that because you live in Iowa, you automatically lived on a farm. I've never lived on a farm in my life. I don't know shit about farming.
Wait, you can live it like not on a farm
I
in Iowa?
know, dude. It's shocking. But
Wow.
now I can actually be my alter ego of Farmer Phil, dude. For real. I can be Farmer freaking Phil. Yeah,
Hey,
Coda.
man, it ain't much, but it's honest work.
Yeah, exactly. For real. So exciting times. What else do we have? Yuga related or even just Web3 related here?
Ape Sync's coming up. The flyby. I know we already kind of talked about that, but I feel like we have to touch
Yeah,
on
please.
it again.
Let's
Like
go.
that ratio has just been getting absolutely obliterated, and it goes up, then right back down, then up, then right back down, and it's just waiting for that breakout.
Yeah,
was
Ape
waiting
ETH
for
is an
our
interesting.
Our Ape ETH expert right here, Will.
There's our guy.
Ape ETH is it's definitely hanging down at pretty close to rock bottom. Obviously there was some excitement around ETH, so like it's outperforming ApeCoin. Surprise, surprise. But like, why would you not be bullish on ApeCoin here when it's like everything you see coming out?
Right.
I don't know. It's just kind of
Everybody's gonna need Ape.
seemed like shit's cranking out. If this
Otherside's powered by
if this
ApeCoin. Legends of the
persistent
Mara.
2D experience,
Yeah,
Legends of
right.
the Mara, if this is like,
Powered by
you know,
ApeCoin.
if this cooks, it's
That
your
alone,
coin.
that alone, legitimately. If Legend of the Mara is like just a fun experience and people are like willing to spend ApeCoin however you need to in that, like even that alone
Mhm.
is a dope use case for something to get us even just to Otherside and building, etc. Like there's just more coming, and we've said that for fucking ever, but it's true. And so like I'm trying to hold as much ape as I can. I wish I had even more. I'm not interested at selling because it's just going to be needed. And at the end of the day, I guess, it's still a bet on Otherside. It's still a bet on Yuga as a whole. I'm going to make that bet. Like, I'm just going to make that fucking bet, and I'm going to hold their token. I'm going to hold the token of Otherside because I think they're going to do a great job.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was holding a couple of other apes, and I folded those and bought more ApeCoin.
This is ApeCoin Daddy over here, Mr. Will.
ApeCoin and cat.
It felt right. It felt like, okay, we want to talk about expansion of the ecosystem. Yeah, NFTs can pop off, but like, if the economy, if they can, it's not if, it's more of like when they build the economy, then we're just see you
Cooking.
later.
All right, here's another when. When Ape Fest, dudes? Can we get like just like an idea?
Sometime soon, please.
Sorry that I'm like a semi-responsible old man, apparently, but like, please don't tell me that it's gonna be in like 6 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't work well for me, dad of 2, and in real life job. Can you tell me like at least 6 months out?
Dude, if they come
6
back and they're
months?
like, hey, it's in June, and then like suddenly we're going to Vegas and we have the Azuki event and Ape Fest kind of like together? Like, how do we feel about that?
I would love that personally because I really want to go to the Azuki event, and it would be nice just to get Azuki and Ape Fest done in one trip and not have to pay for multiple flights and hotels. Take more time off.
I don't have any.
But I agree, though. I mean, it's
currently.
Say again.
So
You
I
don't
don't
have any what?
I have 0 Azuki exposure, so I would only.
I do too, but it is on my to buy list.
Right.
I
Dude,
am
you see
just
those
waiting.
grails being bought up left and right? Like nobody gives a shit about blur farming and floors holding the value right now. They're just like, I'm gonna go buy my
Right.
spirit, dude.
Yeah, right. Crazy.
It's an interesting
Let's do a spirit
collection.
cost right now. It's ridiculous.
Stupid. Like, is it still 200 or whatever?
180.
It's a lot. Yeah, I was gonna say
180?
it's a lot.
Jeez.
I hope it's not in June. I'll be honest with you. That would kind of suck ass if they're like in 8 weeks we're going to Ape Fest. But
Yeah, it's not enough time.
I don't think it is. That would suck for like because you got to think about international too, right? Like you want people that can potentially come. I know it's still a freaking massive task and ask for those people, but like, would you really want to tell them 2 months out? Like,
Imagine on a Monday they drop in, they're like, fuck it, Ape Fest Saturday.
fuck that, dude.
I would be there. I'm going.
Okay, but
Dude,
not
can you
giving-
you're a
imagine-
solo writer, dude. Your life is so
Yeah.
much easier. It's like, okay,
He's
who
like,
do I gotta
"Cool, I'll
ask?
be there."
Myself? I gotta ask the fucking mirror if I can go.
Yeah, tell my boss, hey, I'm gonna be off this week.
I'm calling in sick, dude. Yeah, I don't know what to think. We think it's in Vegas. Is that your guess? If you had to gun to your head,
Yeah,
even-
No,
I mean,
even
gun to
Vegas.
my head, if it's like you have one choice, it's gonna be Vegas. Final answer. They've got the space, has the venues, have all the hotels. It's just a fun atmosphere, like environment there when you're not at Ape Fest, unless they make it like a whole day thing. Who knows? But
Well,
wait.
The thing is like I feel like for some of these big festivals that like have like a huge attendance,
I would go to Japan.
again,
for some of these big festivals though, you have to like be selling tickets early,
yeah, you do.
right? So it's like if they drop something, it's 2 months out. Like, are they gonna? They'll get the numbers because it's Yuga, but like, it seems like
won't
it'll be
in
a
June,
scramble.
no. There's no way it's in June. Like at this point, I'm thinking it's got to be August or later.
Like, I would much rather see like a campaign roll out to like really kind of bring more people into it, right? Like, if that's the route they want to go with it, because
Yeah, throw a Coachella-sized event. You
Yeah.
know, give your holders, your apes and your mutants, the free entry, and then sell a bunch of normie tickets.
I agree with that.
Right? Like, let's get a bunch of people that are like, what is this Bored Ape Yacht Club? And why do they have all these insane artists performing?
Yeah, and
then, you know, we also roll up with some special treatment, and then they're going to be looking at us like, the fuck?
yeah, it could be major. Like, and that just makes too much sense. At least I think it could be this next one, but that would have to be far out, dudes. Like, you couldn't do something like that even like 4 months, bro. That'd be wild as hell.
We also have to think, I mean, look what they're shipping out right now.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So, I mean, they've been incredibly busy, and I know they have all
100%.
their different teams. So I'm sure there is a team that's working on Ape Fest, but
Yeah, no, I agree. And Daniel, you're right. I don't think Ape Fest will be at the Yacht Club, but when Miami in real life Yacht Club, if you had to guess, next year, 2024, or is that too soon?
what did it say on Roadmap 2.0? Was it like 2035?
I thought that was freaking
Oh, that was Sandbox.
that's
But
the
on there was the
Sandbox.
IRL clubhouse in Miami.
Like, is that? I could see it next year. I could see that.
I think that's a bull market purchase.
Yeah. Or have they already started developing and nobody knows yet?
All possible.
They've done a pretty good job of keeping a lot of that tucked away. I got one more thing that's on my mind. I have all these things we haven't talked in forever. Daniel also brought up the meta RPG, and that's something that they had done in like September, but I think it just got pushed through or something happened in March,
Mhm.
and it was with them getting into like it was like consoles, VR. Thoughts on that? Like, are they really building a console?
it wouldn't be surprising me if there's an experience that you can do on the other side where you can, plug in and play it with a console or in VR, and not
Could just be a
necessarily you have
land
to be on
grab
your
too,
computer and
trying
click a
to-
browser. What's that, Will?
Said it could just be a land grab too.
True.
Just to say like, hey, we put this
We have
idea
it just
down
in
here
case we
first.
want to pursue that option.
I think that's a fair take too, because you wouldn't want people to like snipe that and then later down the line you're like, oh shit, we wanted to make mattresses for Bored Apes
with blockchain technology built into them.
Yeah. Yes, dude.
So you can mint in your sleep.
But yeah, definitely creating the meta RPG, the metaverse role playing game. Like, go ahead and claiming that is pretty badass.
And this is what I thought. And Daniel, thank you.
Legal covering.
But you're right. Still insane to see how far they're thinking. 100%. And I think that helps with the size of their team, right? They have all these experts in their fields. And they're just, I guarantee they're brainstorming too. Is like, what other shit do we maybe want to do in 5 years from now, 10 years? Shit, I don't know. Like, they got to be thinking, having some of those, future thoughts as they're completely like ripping things out right now, which is a good point too, is like, dude, I know they have a massive team, but holy shit, dude. Like all these things happening, like Otherside team. Hey, we got a second trip coming up. Be ready. We got to drop these fucking wearables and create this new, Otherside relic collection. And we got to do fucking decoupling too. Forgot about that, dudes. And like, there's so much shit going on that I'm glad they have a massive team. They couldn't do it otherwise. I guess at the end of the day, they just couldn't do all this otherwise.
Well, and also if you think about it too, right? Like they've been shipping stuff every single week the last couple of weeks, and will continue shipping stuff for the weeks to come. Like we don't have time for 8 Fest right now.
Yeah.
If they had said like, oh yeah, it's next week, even a couple months ago, we'd be like, we still have Legends of the Mara, the heavy metals. Like I don't want to go to 8 Fest. Well, obviously we would want to go, but we just don't have a good like week off.
Dude,
who knows? I think we'll probably likely see it Q3, Q4 when Otherside's always on and Yuga's not, consistently shipping stuff out every single week.
It almost feels like it has to be Q4 if it's this year. Like when I just sit here and like speculation 100%. But man, when you're just saying it out loud, and these are all things we already knew, but when you're just like going through all this shit, it's like, dude, they're not going to want to do this when they have all these other things that, amazing experiences that have to do with the roadmap and Otherside. And
that's where their priority lies too, is Otherside, right? They didn't start this club and be like, yeah, we're going to host IRL 8 Fest every year. And that's like our big thing.
For sure.
No, they're building their big thing right now. And 8 Fest is just a fun little perk. And who knows, maybe we'll see it as like a Otherside launch party.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Gucci VIP. Let's hope. Let's hope, Daniel. Let's get that Gucci VIP. What else we got, fellas? I agree on ApeCoin. Keep stacking if you can. Not financial advice as always, but I'm trying to get as much as I can. What else we got before we wrap?
Let's see.
I'm just worried for Will. This cat's got a cough again. This man's got the ape cough or something, dude.
Dude, it comes and goes. Nah, I came back from my... Huh?
No, I just said I know, brother. I'm worried about you.
Yeah.
You got the black lung.
It's the freaking allergy season.
Oh, you'll see this was a good idea. Did y'all see the ApeCoin proposals? I think there's 2 up that are asking for like $4 million from the DAO.
Snowflake. Yeah, I'm gonna be really honest with you. The proposals from this week, that was a big fat negative for me.
A big fat against.
It's just tough. Like, I would agree that we want to push things forward, but like, dude, we got to see more. Like, it can't just be like, give us 4 million in ape token and trust. Just trust, brothers and sisters. Just trust.
Yeah, I saw. I was looking through some of what other people had voted, and the kind of the comments they left, and there was one. I want to say it was Machi Villain. I think that's his name.
Oh yeah.
But he was saying like, they need to go ahead and like, start it and do their own funding. And then once it's kind of proven that like, look, people will, do this, then sure. Propose an AIP, you have something that's, somewhat successful already. And then we can go ahead and just help lift that off. But in terms of the starting from scratch and asking for 2.2 mil. I'm
It's
like,
tough, man.
mm,
And I also didn't
I'll
like.
take it.
I'll be honest. I didn't really love the idea either. Like somebody else was talking about, how are you competing with like all these other
Bullshit,
platforms that are
dick,
doing
and-
this? Like
Mhm.
that seems kind of asinine, personally. But I don't know. Like I don't know enough. Maybe it's a freaking splendid idea, and they just go about it at a different angle. But even when I just saw that, I'm like, God damn, dude, you're going against like the fucking all-stars. Like, shit, trying to take something off the ground and just let it rip. I don't know, man. It's tough. Tough.
Gee. Anything else to go over?
Man, we covered a ton.
We did. Cover it.
I don't think of anything Yuga-wise. Me bits, I think I've been looking at me bits forever. I need to shit or get off the pot, to be honest with you. I need to get one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I bought mine at like 287 or something, and now they're at like 2 or so, or 2.6. So I mean, they pulled back some. We know they've been cooking.
I definitely
Time to
want.
shit, Phil.
I definitely
Don't get
want
off the pot. Time to shit.
Definitely want one for sure. But I guess for the next 2 weeks and even into May, like I'm ready to freaking experience what heavy metals has to offer and freaking Legends of Tomorrow. Like all systems go. I hope everything goes well. I hope it's a good experience. I hope it's fun. I hope it's engaging, keeps people active. Because at the end of the day, we've talked about that again, is like they've done a good job of keeping us active and involved and talking about things and having spaces, streams, etc., and not just sitting around forever and speculating to death. And speculation is great because we're getting more information all the time. It's not just speculating the same thing over and over again. We're getting more information. And I think that'll continue to happen, right? Like the codex has got to be like, I think this stuff is going to be coming. Like, I really think it'll be the next 6 weeks. And maybe even with Legend of Tomorrow, you're going to see more information on all of it, dude. Like understanding the other side, because you're going to have that like Bible of the other side, again, the codex to understand before we even get into building. So I'm excited for that because we'll be able to break it apart. We'll have Daniel, like this dude is a freaking G when it comes to threads. He'll be with a fine tooth comb as soon as we get it. And we'll have about 27 threads that are going to just be banging. So I don't know. I'm excited as always. Like Bored Ape floor price, I legitimately don't care anymore at all. Actually, we talked about this. Will said, just go to 0. We're holding them all the way. And like, let's not go to 0. But I agree with the sentiment. Like, I'm not selling it anyways.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
there's been a lot of OGs that have been selling out. Kind of crazy.
It is wild. But I mean, I get it. I understand. But like for me, been too good to me. I would never sell. Like something absolutely extreme would have to happen for me to sell my last Yuga asset. Like I can't imagine that. Yeah.
As soon as I had a birthday cake with my ape on it, I was like, well, looks like I'm stuck with this thing forever. Like you can't sell it now.
Did Will get you that cake?
Yeah.
And now you're stuck. Not that you would have.
Like, yep. It's my cake now.
Nah, but
I wish we had the.
Go ahead, Will.
I was gonna say I wish we had that picture of when we divided it in 2 sections.
Oh, that was funny. That was super funny. There was because Will technically owns half the ape, so cut it in half, and it was like this part's Will's and this part's mine.
This half's my cake. This half's your cake.
That's all the cake you get.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm buying the other half from you soon. These captains are making me rich.
Oh,
Let's see it then.
Oh, captains. Codex will come out a little at a time as we do it, they say. Yep, agreed. Yep. So I do think we'll get a decent amount of information here shortly. Yeah,
this next little bit we'll get the Agora and other stuff, and then I'm sure a couple weeks after they'll find a way to show us the rest of the roadmap there.
Unpeeling the banana. One sliver at a time.
Children before I sell my code out. He's just so damn cute.
Hey, all right, fair. You're on a recorded stream now, though, so they can pull that up. Hey, I want to just say we appreciate y'all being here for real. When you guys have the comments flowing and just the support, it means a ton, honestly. And when more licensing platforms? Good question. That is actually a great question and something we've talked about before. That'll be for next Wednesday. But like, we really appreciate the support. Like, please follow us on Twitter. If you have shit, tag us in threads, tag us in anything, questions you have, like do that. Like we're happy to retweet things, like things, respond when we can. If you ever want to come on to, a stream or you want to talk something specific within the Yuga ecosystem, just reach out in the DMs because we'd be happy to bring people on and shoot the shit.
Sure. Shoot the shit and speculate with us.
Literally, that's it. We're shooting the shit. Follow me, tell me who you are. Ziggy, I think I follow you, Ziggy. I'm Phil, orange background.
I am bright_ape.
You can kind of see our
I think I follow you too, Ziggy.
So yeah, for sure. Like come through, let us know. We are here and we love you guys for real. And thank you. We think it was a great show too, but a lot of it was because you guys were hitting us with awesome comments, questions, etc. So anything else, Will, Bryce?
No, thanks for tuning in. We will be back next week.
Dope. We appreciate y'all. See you next Wednesday. Good night.
Peace.
That money clip us now, the new now looks like. Whoa, upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like. Whoa. I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, vintage frames on my face. Looking like I'm from the deep. These no Cartiers, pockets deep, bro.